Okie dokie. Let's make sure the stream's going. Make sure I got sound. If Twitch will cooperate. Test, test. Seems to be cooperating. So this game is called DeadStick Bush Pilot Simulator. Now, I'll tell you, I'm a fan of flight. I've got like 36 or 37 hours of flight time in a Cessna 172. About 6, almost 7 of those, I think, are solo. And I still need 5 hours of solo flight in what's called cross country, where you have to fly to 3 different airports at least 50 nautical miles away from each other. That includes your home airport that you come back to, do your full landing, calling out, everything, taxiing, flying the pattern, all that. I need 5 hours of that cross country. And so that's expensive, and I don't have the money for it right now. So I can't finish that. But once I do that, I'll have over my 40 hours, over my solo hours, my cross country done, all my other things done, and then I can sit with an FAA examiner to test for my private pilot's license. But that's in a Cessna 172. This plane in here, is a tail dragger, and which is a completely different thing. When you come into land, you're not leaning back like that. You want to touch down with the 2 wheels. From my understanding, you don't want to lean back on that little wheel. You want to let it settle back onto that as you slow down. So it's a completely different thing. I've never flown a tail dragger. This is supposed to be kind of a simulator, as it says in the thing, but I've never flown a tail dragger. So, in all honesty, I'm not sure of all the specifics of a tail dragger, like I am at least a lot of the specifics of flying a Cessna 172. But I'm a fan of flight sims. A buddy of mine plays this. It's like a beta or whatever that you can apply to. He got in. They give him invitations to send to other people. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be streaming it, but I like the game. I mean, I like the idea of it. I liked what I saw. He showed me some of it on Discord. And so I was like, yeah, send me an invite. So I downloaded it. I did start. Instead of Chuck Yeager, I named myself Yuck Chager. Come on. I should be in the office because it has you do things. Now I have a Turtle Beach flight yoke and rudder pedals and throttle knobs and all that, but that doesn't work well with this. I don't feel like pulling it out, number one. I've never said that before. Anyway, I don't feel like pulling that out, even though it's all on the stand. I'd have to move it all over. And besides that, this is a stick plane. It's not a yoke, I don't believe. So it wouldn't feel right. So I'm using my Xbox V2 Elite controller, and we'll see how that works out. It doesn't have full controller support. It does have partial. And I was walking around the office a while ago, and I could see that it was telling me open wheel, tool wheel with Y and all that. So I figured, we'll see what happens. Messages. It wants you to go through stuff, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're done. Close phone. Read the facts. Just the facts, ma'am. Okay. Weather report from now this must be like the 1980s or something, or early. Just look at this fucking monitor. I have run into some weird, I don't know. We'll get into that, but we'll see what it does here. I haven't really done much in the game, but I did walk around the office and was testing the controls, and I decided, you know what, I'll fucking stream this. Location is shown on the ground. Gotcha. Opened in 1933, making it the island's oldest airstrip. Long since outcompeted by Morton to the north, it's still a favorite rest stop among local pilots. Okay. Next step, this is getting METAR, meteorological conditions and all that. Clouds clear, visibility 10,000 almost meters. It's 2 minutes old. Looks like the wind is low. Temp. And I haven't flown in a while, so, even notice to airmen, NOTAMs, open as usual. No wind shears, maximum gust speed, 0 knots. That's nice. Okay. Exit briefing hut. Now we're getting somewhere. Ugh. Well, that's the first thing that's annoying is the door opens into my face. Okay, apparently I can do that. How do I run? Apparently right trigger crouches. Left trigger runs? Okay, that's weird. Left stick in should be run and right stick in should be crouch. I mean, that's just the normal, right? Okay, now what? Remove the chocks. Okay. Get down here and do some chock removal. Tow the aircraft to the white box. Okay, over there. Let's do this. Okay, that's weird too. Like you have to turn your whole body to, and I've towed Cessnas with one of these things where you pull it out to get it where you want it, and I did not turn my whole body like that. It's just that needs to change. That feels really weird. And again, I'm no expert, but I do have some experience, as I said. I have done some of this stuff, like flying and towing the fucking plane out by hand. Okay. But yeah, I've never flown a freaking tail dragger. It's a whole new. It's a different thing. Looks like we're in the white box. Okay, safety inspection. I did do a lot of these. Check. Oh, my whole body moves to do. See, that needs to change. When you interact with something in the game, whether it's a tow thing or whatever, you should be able to look around independently of moving things, or not, or be locked onto it. So when I move my stick, it's moving the thing and testing it, but not moving my whole body. But being fair, this is a freaking it's not even an early access. So, I'm just pointing out things they want to know about, they said, to change, or to keep in mind. So I'm pointing out. Flaps good. Let's check the ailerons, full motion. I'd also get underneath and I'd check the bolts underneath there on each side, run my hand down the front of the wing, run my hand across the prop on both sides to make sure I'm not feeling any dents or any dings or any, cracks or anything. Again, on this side, run my hand down this. Check the back here area. Check the ailerons for function and connection. Check the flaps. Make sure everything looks good. Already did this. Then I'd get underneath. Of course, this is not a Cessna, so it's definitely different. In some ways, I'd check the struts. I'd look in and check the brakes. Check the tires out. I'd get in here. I'd check the oil. And the fuel up top there, whatever. I'd check the fuel in there. I'd also do a run up when I got it started and got it out towards the runway, where I checked suction and both magnetos and all of that. I'm not going to do that in this plane because it's kind of a pain to get to stuff. But in a Cessna, I'd do my normal walk around and all that, and then I'd do a run up once I got the plane started. A lot of times they had me take it out to the runway, but I didn't like to clog up the runway, so I would go towards the runway and then pull off into a little parking area, do my run up, and make sure everything was okay, and then I would proceed to taxi to the runway, and oh shit, that changes view apparently, and going ahead and call out that I'm going to. Oh shit! I forgot to close the door. I guess that's probably good. Oh god, I did it again. Everything's looking good. Okay, we go master switch, and then normally there's not in this plane, I guess, but there's avionics and electric and avionics and all that. Okay, pump the primer. I did have to pump the primer a few times. Let's get zoomed in on this. 1, 2, 3. It says 3 times, but that was 3. Maybe it didn't like. Okay. whatever. All right, now we're going to start. Also, I test each magneto on a run up, but I'm not going to mess with all that here. All right, we got her started up. Yeah, I want to test. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right, we're gonna. I turned the brakes. Let's see if I don't see any indication of brakes when I press the thing. So, all right, we're gonna tap some throttle here, and we're starting to roll. It's kind of hard to see in a tail dragger because your nose is so high up. So for taxiing purposes, I'm gonna go to the external because I'd really like to not crash their plane on my solo, my maiden, my virgin flight. I think that would be the end of my bush piloting career, as it were. But like I said, I've never flown a tail dragger like this, much less taken off, landed in one at all. I've never even been in one. So all my experience is in a Cessna 172. And they are pretty damn reliable. And I'm used to those. I can get in your Cessna and I can fly it. Don't put me in a tail dragger. It's going to be an issue. I'm going to throttle down a little bit here. I'm a slow taxier. I've seen people that will taxi like they're driving a fucking race car down the taxi lane and I don't do it, man. I don't. Too much shit can go wrong. I like a nice, calm, slow taxi to the damn runway. But you also got to consider I've never flown at a big airport. Like, I've flown at Glacier Park International, or Glacier Park, I guess it is, in Montana, and Kalispell City, and I've landed at airports around there, like the one up by Canada Line, heading out of Kalispell City. I forget the name of it now. And, airports are in that area all around Glacier Park, but I've never flown at a big airport where they would obviously want me to be faster on a taxi and get the hell out of the way. So I haven't been forced to deal with expediting my taxi. So, I take it calm, cool, and collected. All right, we're going to go on ahead. I don't like to if I'm just rolling, if I'm doing like a practice for like a short field or a soft field, a short field, then I would keep rolling. But a lot of times I like to just line up and stop, but we won't do that this time. All right, here we go. And it's a little rough on the controller with the rudder. Okay, we're already starting to nose down a little bit. Okay, we're up. And I'm heading north, it says. So we'll start our bank. Pretty kind of a steep bank, but we'll be okay. I'm a little steep. Like I said, flying with the controller is a little rough. Oh yeah, we'll trim it. We're going to trim down because this nose is definitely climbing. Plus, we're going to reduce the throttle, but we don't need all that throttle because it looks like that's the damn airport right over there. So we'll just keep it slow and steady. Get this nose up. Get this nose up a little bit. Speed's good. Looks like that's where I'm going to... So I'm essentially just taking off and entering the base leg for my landing. That's what it looks like. Let's keep an eye on this fucking mountain so we don't put a wing into it. That would probably be cool. And we're going to go on ahead and kick about 10 degrees of flaps. And I'm going to reduce the throttle a little bit more and start my descent on the base. I'm kind of off on my base a little bit, but don't tell anybody. Don't tell an instructor, they'll get upset at me. Okay. And speed, we're going to drop that throttle down to right about there. Now we are on final. what a long final it is. Okay. It's looking pretty good, though. I like the descent rate. About 700 or so. Speed's okay. Throttle's good. I got 10 degrees or whatever it is, the first notch of flaps. I don't think I'll need the second notch. Yeah, we're actually a little faster than what I'd like to be. Shit, I can't tell what's... Is it down on the D-pad to trim up and up to trim down, or is it not inverted? Yeah, we're a little slow. I can't figure out which trim. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna aim for that second mark. It doesn't look like the PAPI lights, the precision approach path indicator, or the VASI vertical ascent slope indicator are actually functioning, because they're all showing high no matter what. Or maybe it didn't like that I was high. Okay, we're going to bring this down. We're going to cut the throttle. Little right rudder. Yeah, we're stalling, but that's okay. Oh, what's it doing? Why is it pulling hard to the left? Jesus Christ. Oh. Damn, son. That was a little rough. Looks like we're throttling. We're taxiing. Go to external for taxi again so I can see what the hell I'm doing. You know what? I don't really like that landing. I think I'm going to do another one. We're going to take off. We're just going to call this a go around, even though I'm already on the ground. Okay. We're going to go up. Woo, a little steep. A little steep with the controller here. We're going to go up and we're going to do another another attempt at this. And we're going to cut it short on our outbound here because of that fucking mountain over there. I mean, that freaking mountain over there. Okay. We're going to slow it down a little bit. We're just going to do a a right pattern, I guess. Hey, this is our, what's this, crosswind, I think, leg. And then go to our downwind. Yeah, I'm not happy with that landing, I'll tell you that. Okay, we're on the downwind. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Go ahead and kick in 10 degrees of flaps, although technically I'm supposed to wait till I get over the my touchdown point of the runway there on the downwind before I start flaps. But, you know, we'll pretend that I waited. Okay, we're straight and level pretty much. We're going to come all the way out. I'm not allowed to fly more than, as a student pilot, I'm not allowed to fly more than a mile out, I think, over water. I have to be able to reach the land in an emergency as VFR student pilot. So, you know, tell the FAA I'm doing what's supposed to be, you know. Oh, also check fuel, check landing gear, you know, things like that on my as I enter the pattern. We're gonna do this again. I didn't like that. Okay, we're doing all right. Go throttle a little bit. I might do second notch of flaps this time, just to slow it down a little bit more and have a little bit more control. What's going on, Wordy Boy? I can't see the chat unless I look over at my phone because I forgot to put up the transparent Twitch chat. But I'm going to try to land this plane without dying and without being so rough on it. And I am kind of high. We're going to kill that throttle a little bit. And it's a little bit slow. Turn for our fucking final here. And we're going to try a better landing this time. There's definitely some crosswind because it was kicking my nose out. And I had to, oh, we are really high. All right. I might have to go around again. I don't, this is really steep. But there are a lot of trees there. And I guess bush pilots tend to have to do things like this. Yeah, I am, no, we're going to do a go around. I'm just not comfortable with that. That's way too steep. So we're gonna go around again. And I have done plenty of go arounds. I've got videos up on my nose up gear down channel that shows one time when I was flying and it got really, really windy and it scared the living shit out of me. It's the first time I had flown solo in any kind of wind like that. And I'm up there and I come back from the practice area where I was doing steep turns and stall, power on and power off stalls for practice and all of that. And I come back to the airport, to the runway at my home airport in Kalispell City, Montana, and it was so fucking windy, man. It scared the living shit. I was like, holy crap. And I was not used to any kind of wind like that, especially by myself. But it had kicked up. And so I come in the first time and I'm like, nope, I'm all thrown off the runway. I'm compensating. I'm left ruddering and right aileroning, and that plane did not want to get on the, I mean, I was over the runway, but it was starting to go off to the side. So I tapped and I was like, nope, did a go around. Came back around, same thing, horrible wind, horrible, scared the crap out of me. Almost urinated myself, I think. I had to do another go around. Finally, on the third time, I said, you know what? No one's coming. And I said it it's on the video. I said, no one's coming to save me. I was like, it's me. I either land it or I crash it. And so on the third time, I said, come on, baby. And then the wind kind of let up a little bit, which made me feel a little more comfortable and confident. So I could put it down on the damn runway. And I mean, I still had to go compensate with the rudder and the aileron and kind of one wheel down, I think, if I remember correctly. And then, but it was rough. It scared the living crap out of me. Yeah, dude, this is a new one. It's not really out yet. It's in like you can apply to be in the thing, and I think they're letting pretty much most people in. I got an invite from someone else. And but it seems pretty good. It's supposed to be a simulator. It's supposed to be realistic. I've never flown a tail dragger before. All my experience in flying, and like I said, I need 5 more solo hours on top of the 7 I have cross country solo hours to be able to sit for my private pilot's license, have all my 40 plus hours and all my solo hours and all my skills done. But it's really expensive, so I don't have the money to finish the 5 hours right now. But to be able to sit for the FAA private pilot's license. But this is supposed to be simulator, and I have no experience in a tail dragger, but only a Cessna 172, but it seems pretty cool so far. So I need to be starting my descent is what I need to be doing. Stop messing around here. Let's get this throttle down a little bit. Oh shit, I never did kick up my flaps, so I'm still at 20 degrees of flap, so we're just going to leave that there. The only problem is if I exceeded the flap extension speed, the VFE there, I could have done damage to the frame, the airframe, or the flaps. So that's one thing I messed up on. You got to stay in that flap extension safety area there, that white. So I could have done damage to this not being careful and not paying attention to get my flaps up on my go around. So it's something I need to pay attention to for next time. Okay, we are on a descent. It's looking better this time. I'm not as high on my base leg. Turn to base. We're going to go on ahead and keep our descent going. Okay, turn into final. And kill the throttle a little bit. A nice smooth turn to final. Keep our descent. A little off here. I want to be center. It's rough to fly with a controller too. Like I said, I didn't pull out the X52 joystick, nor did I. Nor did I pull out the. Okay, looks like the Pappies are flying now. I'm on a good slope. They're working. Well, that was better than the last time. It's rough flying with a controller, I'll tell you. Okay. And we're already slow enough to taxi. Yeah, I did cut the throttle a little too much. But I tend to do that. Even in the Cessna, I would come in for my approach, and right over the... I'd kill the throttle normally when I knew I was going to make my touchdown point, and then kind of adjust it as needed. But sometimes I would be a little slow, so as I'm flaring, I would be riding that line of the stall, and you'd hear the stall. If you watch my videos, you'd hear the stall warning coming. Let me know, hey, you are riding the line between stall and touchdown. So, that kind of happened. But it always worked out nicely. Normally, I mean, it would let me know that I'm riding the line, but I never actually stalled, and I was just slow enough I would settle it down on the runway in an almost stall. So, I mean, I probably need to work on that a little bit. Anyway, what's up, Wardy? Taxi to Morton's briefing hut. Yeah, this is pretty cool so far, though. I'm not going to lie. Doing good, chilling. Yep, chilling like a villain. Oh. But yeah, I love flight sims, and I love flying, and I actually am close to getting my private pilot's license or being able to sit for the test. So flight sims plus honestly, this isn't, that's a win. And then the other win is it's not made by micro slop or micro crap or micro money sign soft, so that's a win too. So it's win, 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 win. So if they do it, if they dev this and stay on the right path with it, this could turn out to be a really good game. Although I realize it's bush piloting, but I would love to have something in here other than a tail dragger, like some sort of Cessna with normal landing. I get bush piloting, the pros to having a tail dragger, easy turnaround and stuff like. I get it, but I'm not a tail dragger kind of person, so my experience is all in a Cessna 172. So I just, I don't know all the ins and outs, or really most of them. I know that I'm not supposed to be flaring, and I should be landing on those two and then letting the rear end settle. And I mean, I get the basics of it. I tend to revert to Cessna 172 flying in this plane, apparently, because I still was flaring, and I was a little short on the throttle and my descent. It's just, it doesn't, I got to get used to it, I guess. I'm not a tail dragger kind of guy, I guess. Give me a Cessna 172, I'll fly it. Give me a tail dragger, we might have an issue. Taxi to the briefing hut, still in the process. And yes, I am a slow taxier, as I said. Slow and steady. Keep it in the center. But it looks pretty good. I mean, obviously it's in very early stages of development, I guess. There's like three. I think there's like 3 missions you can do. But like I said, a buddy of mine was in the beta or whatever, the closed beta or open beta, whatever it is, and he sent me an invite because he showed me some of it. I was like, yeah, I'll play this. I want to try it. Where am I taxiing to, though? Where's the briefing hut? Is it... Oh, maintenance. Yeah, I guess it's up here on the right. I guess we'll find out. I mean, that's... Okay, there we go. Yeah, must... Okay, so yeah, we're good. We are good. Hold on. Let me get this thing parked, Wardy, so I don't end up in a tree. Then I can read what you said. It'd be better if I just forgot to put the transparent Twitch chat up on the damn screen, which I'll do actually here in a second. But yeah, like I said, some people, man, they taxi. I've watched them, and they taxi like they're driving a damn race car in the Formula One series and shit. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm not comfortable with that. I'll take my chances going slow, even though I always flew out of small airports. Like I said in the beginning, Kalispell City, Glacier Park in Montana, all around that area. But I was never rushed. So I guess if I flew out of a big airport at some point, that might be a whole different ball of wax, where they want me to speed it the hell up, expedite my taxi, and get the hell out of the way. But I wasn't forced to deal with that. So we need to go over there, the briefing hut. So we'll just head over here. Can I just park anywhere, or... Tell you what we're gonna do. We'll just park here. Okay. We went ahead and turn everything off. Okay, both magnetos off, master off. I don't see an electronics or avionics switches, so I guess we're good. It says taxi to Morton's briefing hut, but it's not completing that, although maybe it won't complete it unless I actually get out of and go in. Okay, no notable issues found. That's good. Plane's still in one piece. Everything still looks good. Let me read what you said. Hold on. Let me get a drink of coffee, too. He said, I mainly did 737, 777s on MSFS, but had the PMDs ones, which are super fun and realistic, especially following all the checklists. And on VATSIM, yeah. Look, I have my MS flight simulator, but man, anything Microsoft these days, I'm all turned off from. I haven't booted it up in a while because there were so many bugs with it. And on top of that, microslop becoming like the most egregious violator of fucking privacy. And there's no steps there. Privacy and their Windows 11 trash. Windows 10 was bad enough for fuck's sakes, but then Windows 11, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I can't even bring myself to touch anything Microsoft anymore, except for Windows 10, which is on this PC, but I'm also leaning towards going towards, as Linux gets much more user-friendly, GUI friendly. I'm not going to Windows 11. It's not fucking happening. I will go to Linux first, if that's what it takes. I will not go to Windows 11. But, all right, so what do you want me to interact with the PC? And interact with the PC and start flight school. Well, this ought to be interesting. We better start with basic. I haven't flown in a while, and this is a tail dragger, which is not my forte. So, what's funny is it's having. This doesn't make any sense. This needs to change in the game too. It's doing flight school after I've already taken off solo in a tail dragger, flown to another airport in the tail dragger, landed in the tail dragger, taxied to the place, and then I'm doing flight school. And it's starting off with things like start engine and taxi. Well, how would that be helpful if I already went through all that and flew over here? Like it's putting the cart before the horse, having me fly to this airport and then go to flight school when I should have done that before I ever got to take off in it, before I ever got to fly solo, and at least before I flew to another airport to land. Flight school should be at the beginning, not at the end of my first mission. Like that don't make much sense to me. But all right, we'll do all this. Start the engine, apply and control throttle, use the rudders to safely taxi, stop at the runway entrance marker. Okay. As you wish. Yeah, we got to do the primer again. Okay. Master switch is up here. Oh, now it wants me to do the primer. All right. Okay. Both magnetos to start. Yeah, you know what? We'll do that. We need to do this so I can see where the hell I'm going. I don't want it set it to one quarter. I mean, I'll do it just to satisfy the requirements, but then I'm going to back off. And we'll taxi through the waypoint markers. Like I said, I didn't pull out I have the yoke and throttle and mixture and rudder pedals and all that, the Turtle Beach stuff, but this requires a stick for this kind of plane. I didn't feel like pulling out the X52 flight stick or the yoke, because that yoke stuff goes more with the Cessna. But so I'm flying on a Xbox Elite V2 controller, so it is a little rough. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I do hope they put some other planes in this that, like Cessnas, Like I said, I realize it's a bush piloting game, so I don't know that a Cessna 172, except in certain circumstances, the plane I'm used to actually flying, would be viable in this game. But I'd like to see one in it for certain things and be able to fly things other than a tail dragger. But again, this game it's not, to say it's early is an understatement, since it's like a closed beta or open beta or something. So obviously I'm not complaining, I'm just pointing out things that I'm finding to be issues, like the camera movement when you try to tow, it turns your whole body. I mean, weird things like that need addressed. Okay, this is where I do my run up, but okay, I did that. I passed it. Am I a pilot yet? Okay, we're going to do some takeoff. Maintain runway center line, of course. Rudder to counter left pulling tendencies, which you get because at slow speed and high RPM or certain angles, you get left pulling because of the rotation of the propeller and all that stuff. Rotate smoothly at 55. Okay, so this is a 55 knot rotate. Cessna's I flew was about 58, 60 normally, 62 maybe. Establish a stable climb. Yep. So we'll ensure that airspeed's alive and we have a positive rate of climb. We're going to take another drink of coffee. Bush piloting is a hard job. All right. We're going to, I was going to say slowly throttle up, but the hell with it. We're just going to yank it. Okay. Oh, 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 oh. It's a little rough on the 55. Ooh, that was a little rough. Okay. Make sure our flaps are neutral. They are. We need to maintain. Climb to 1,500 foot. Okay. Done and done. Next, power management. Decrease throttle to descend, of course. Increase throttle to ascend, of course. Adjust throttle to control altitude and maintain level flight. Okie dokie. We're here. Whoa. Where is my... Yeah. I definitely haven't flown in a while. You need to put your nose down a little bit. About 1,800, okay. And descend to tree 250. Tree 250,000. Okay. So we're going to start descending here. About 700 foot per minute should be good. If I could get it to trim over a little bit, that would. There we go. There we go. Now I've got some trim. Trim. Anyway, I didn't say that. Descending to 3,250. Okay. Tree 250,000 on descent, 600 feet per minute. I think we need to expedite this a little bit because we're coming close to that damn little mountain over there and I don't like it. Okay, start rolling out of that descent a little bit. Come on, get down there. Okay. Increase to 2,700. And ascend, climb 4,000. I could that climb rate's a little steep, but I'm worried about that mountain. So let's do this. Let's make this happen. Oh. Okay, I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it. I'm going to maintain my climb during my turn. A little steep there. That's good. Doesn't give me much space to do the whole descent ascent testing, does it? Yeah, I'm working on it, bro, but I haven't even hit 4,000 yet, so give me a second. It is a little rough with the controller, I'll tell you that. Okay. Now, for private pilot, you have to be plus or minus 100 feet to be considered passing on a lot of things. I think for a commercial pilot, you got to be you can't be more than plus or minus 50 feet to pass certain tests. Holy shit, I dove. But, you know, it is what it is. Trim management. Yeah. Anyway, I managed some trim. Okay, what are we doing here? Lower throttle, 2400. Oh, that's 20. Okay, right there's good. Trim the aircraft to maintain level flight. That looks pretty good. We'll see. Trimming it down a little bit more. You don't want to do like fast or quick things. Then you end up chasing your speed, chasing your altitude, oscillating up and down. Fucking okay. Boom. Okay. Used power and trim for straight and level flight. Next. Turning. I like steep turns. They're a lot of fun to practice up there. All right. Turn to heading 090 east and hold for 10 seconds. Heading 180 south and hold for 10. Zeros north, hold for 10. Okie dokie. I hate that it dives. Like when you hit that button, it always bothers me. All right, we're doing our approach. Safe approach airspeed. I know that the takeoff speed's 55. I'm not sure what the landing configuration minimum speed, stall speed is on this. Maintain safe approach speed. Configure flaps for landing. Got it. Align with the runway center line. Yep. Use rudder for directional control. And remember, this is not a Cessna. I do not want to flare like I do in a Cessna. I do need to. We're going to go ahead and kick flaps. Boy, they don't give you much time, do they? They immediately put you out here, like right on the fucking final, like right there. Okay, we're in a good. Okay, coming in. Watch those trees. 60 is pretty good. Okay, throttle down, let the tail settle, slowly start braking. I already did all that. Like, you don't give me much time to do, like, as soon as it put me up there, I already did the flaps and it didn't give me credit for it. Like, lesson failed. Bruh, like, what are you talking about? Lower throttle to 1800. It didn't like. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. It's kind of weird on that whole thing because the first time I did all that and put it down as you get, so I don't know. All right, next. Again, it's brand new. It's not even out, and I'm flying with a controller, so who knows. All right, so what are we doing here? Control approach and landing speed. Touchdown gently near the beginning of the runway. Maintain runway center line during rollout. Keep the aircraft level of slightly nose high, and reduce throttle and brake safely. Hopefully you give me more than 20 feet at the fucking thing. Yeah, I know. Reduce throttle to idle, ride the ground effect, and let it touch down gently. I'm using I don't like how it's doing that. I'm going to, bro. I'm going to. A little rough, but we got it. Slow the aircraft. Okie dokie. Engine shut down. Shut down the engine safely. Power down, yeah, electrical, which is the master in this one. Electrical, fuel. Ignition system. Yeah, so that's the magnetos, obviously the key. So we got the engine, we got the electrical, and we're going to kill the mixture and throttle. Okay, I don't know where some of that is. Okay, mixture, that's going to be this. Mixture out. Magnetos off. And master switch. Okie dokie. Well, I'm a pilot, I guess, now. Oh, license test. Look, all I had to do was a couple lessons, not really put any hours in. I could take my commercial. Start the aircraft correctly, taxi safely through the airport, perform a controlled takeoff, climb to 3,000, safe landing. Okay, we'll see how this works. We better get another drink of coffee. All right, then. I don't like to taxi inside this tail dragger. I can't see shit, so I go to the external. All right. We are taxiing. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Because of the wonderful flying he does. How'd you like that song? That was for Twitch. I wrote that just for Twitch and YouTube when I export the video. Now, to me, this just feels fast. Like, I feel like I want to go slower on the taxi. But it, you know, it's whatever. And I know that I've heard, anyway, as I said, I've never flown a tail dragger, but in real life, but I've heard that it's really easy to spin it out if you're not careful and cause that rear end to come around. So I would definitely be really slow on the taxi in a tail dragger like this. November, what airport is this? We're going to call it Beggsfield because they Beggs up there. Beggsfield, November 1776. Taxiing and holding short runway 01. Request permission to take off, straight departure, remaining in pattern, and all that other shit that I don't remember. Okay, here we go. We'll do a stop here. I'd do my run up here if I was actually testing all the magnetos, testing the two magnetos and the suction and everything, but we're not doing that. And luckily it doesn't make me do that. All right, so here we go. I guess we're going to, yeah, definitely departing to the left. It looks like there's not much wind. It's kind of a crosswind, a little bit that there is, but kind of a head-on wind, so we're all right. We'll get out here, get lined up, get back in the old cockpit, and start our roll. Ooh, that's a little rough. No, don't do that. It's a little sensitive on the rudder. Okay, we're up. We are up. Full power in our climb. Airspeed is definitely alive, and we definitely have a positive rate of climb. We are on our way to 3,000. We're going to expedite a little bit because I got a mountain out there. Let's maintain our speed, though. We're doing good. We're on the best rate of climb. I would say if rotate is 55, we should be good at a 60, 65 for a best rate of climb, I would assume. We are at 2,000, passing through 2100. I really need to pull out the X52 for this game. It would be a lot better, but it is what it is. Okay. We are on the outbound here, the departure leg. We're going to turn to crosswind here in a second once I hit 3,000 and start getting into landing configuration. And then kick some flaps when I get over on my downwind and I get over the touchdown point on the runway, not over, but parallel to. I'll start kicking in some flaps and reducing, getting my throttle, my engine down to. Okay, we are at 3,000. We're going to reduce throttle a little bit. We're going to start our crosswind turn here. I think we're on crosswind. Yeah, we're close enough. Get our throttle down a tad more. I'm going to turn to our downwind. It wants a less than 5. That's going to be difficult with a controller, I think. I don't know that I'll be able to maintain those specific. We are on a 500. We're a little steep on our descent. We're going to go on ahead and kick the throttle back a little bit here. Try to maintain that 500 without getting out of our VFE, flap extension speed safety net there in the white area on the speed gauge. We are coming in. We are steep. Yeah, we better throttle up. We're floating up here. We're definitely floating. We're a little off of our downwind. We're a little fast again. It's rough with the controller, I'll tell you. I mean, I flew the MSFS with the controller too at times when I didn't feel like pulling out the Turtle Beach flight yoke and stuff, and it's a little more challenging. Like I said, I have zero experience in an actual tail dragger. All my flying up to the point where I need 5 more hours is to get my private pilot's license. All that's been in a Cessna. I haven't touched any other plane, so tail draggers, I don't know that I'd really want to fly one of these, to be honest with you. But I guess for bush piloting, we're a little fast in our descent. Oh yeah, we're a little fast and we're a little low too. So I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a little altitude. I'm going to keep that pitch up, though. Also, that's another thing. It's really slow to turn and look. I adjusted it up to the highest speed for look on the controller, and it's just too damn slow. You can't have it that slow. All right, we're going to turn to our base and maintain very well. It's kind of hard for me to maintain when my head turns like I'm an old woman with a back problem, a neck problem. But it would be nice in this game if you had like an immediate lock, look to left lock, look to right lock, and release it, and you come back. Okay, now we're a little high, I think, but that's fine. We'll start our descent on our base here and see if we can get down to where we need to be. I don't know that I'm going to be able to maintain that 500. I might not be able to pass this part. But we're going to kill throttle all the way. See, I'm already way too fast on that descent. We're on final, but we are not on target for that 500 descent. I think I'm gonna have to do this probably like 10 times to try try to get where I need to be for that descent, because I am not going to get 500 descent. We're going to full flaps it and see if we can slow down. I could try a hard rudder, you know, air braking, like hard rudder and left aileron and do a slip, but I don't know. That doesn't seem to be happening very well. So yeah, I'm not sure that's... Yeah, I messed this all up. It really is difficult to fly with a freaking controller, I'll tell you, but we're doing a little slip here, but I think we are not gonna make this at the 500. I'm gonna do a go around. All the way up except for the last notch of flaps, because as soon as you kick that last notch, you're gonna drop that nose. There we go. All right. I'll set myself up for a little slower and lower descent by not full throttling on my go-around departure. And I'm assuming it's going to want me to go back. They would want me to actually a go-around procedure. I'd probably go back up to 3,000 and have to do the whole thing again, but just for the sake of the fact that I'm flying with a controller, I'm not going to go all the way up to 3,000. I'll take it to 2, and then do the pattern again at about 2 if I can. It'll put me in a better position for descent and speed management. Okay, we're ready to make our crosswind turn here. Still climbing, still climbing. Don't want to do that too much. Okay, we are on our crosswind, kind of crosswind, kind of downwind, but it's good enough. I want to be low enough that I can manage with this controller to do their 500 feet per minute descent. But I don't want to be so low because it actually, I came in a little high and then I came in too low and I was messing it all up. So, all right, let's get leveled off here on the downwind and see what our speed is. We're gonna go on ahead. No, we'll wait on the flaps. Yeah, we're still a little fast. Yeah, see, this is the problem. In this, I'm like, it's hard to maintain and look because it's so slow to look, and then I'm going too slow and getting too low, and my descent. I'm like on this downwind. I should not be this low. So we're gonna see if we can keep it at about 60 knots and about 500 feet up to try to gain a little bit more altitude. It is what it is, man. I'm flying with a controller. What can I say? Okay, we're going to go on ahead and first notch of flaps. We're going to give it some power because I'm dropping speed pretty good. Okay. We're going to level off a little bit here for our base turn. I know it wants it. Every simulation though feels the same to me, and I know 1800 is a good RPM in the Cessna when I was flying and landing, but it always feels like it's not enough, and that's probably the way I'm setting up the pattern. It's got to be me, I would assume. If every game's like that to me, I put it down to 1800 and it just doesn't feel right. But I always have an issue dropping it that low in a simulator. Okay, we're on base here. We're going to reduce throttle to idle for a minute. Get our 500-foot descent. Well, we need some more throttle. Okay, that's not bad. About 70 knots, 500 foot per minute. A little less throttle, so we can get down to that 500 and stay in the VFE, flap extension safety area there. 500 feet. I think I'm a little high, so we're gonna idle, throttle. We're gonna grab another notch of flaps. Try to get slowed down. Oh, I am fucking way high. All right, yeah, this is gonna be rough. If I can get a little bit lower, I can get that 500. But man, I am fucking diving, like I'm dive bombing and shit. I'm not going to get that 500 with the controller. I can just see this being an issue already. I mean, I'm high. I could land it. I would technically do a go around on this again too, but because I am coming in, it's not my speed, it's this fucking angle, and I'm not going to get the 500. But so, I mean, but we'll land it and see if it. Oh, he gave it to me. Oh, he gave it to me. Reduced to a safe taxi speed. Find a safe place to stop. Well, that wouldn't be here. I mean, I wouldn't stop on the damn runway. But I bet if I go off the runway, I bet it's going to give me shit. I wonder if it'll let me turn around and go back to that. So here's what we'll do. We'll see if we can get turned around. And head back to that building up there. Get on the center line. Get on the center line. Aye, sir. Aye, sir. Aye, sir. Aye, sir. Well, I mean, for flying with a controller, you know, it's not. I wasn't too bad. I did do one go around, and I did come in really steep. It's kind of hard to maintain all things with this controller, but I mean, I touched down, didn't break anything. It was mostly smooth. Could have been a little bit smoother, I think, but again, I'm used to flying a Cessna, and I keep wanting to flare instead of letting those wheels touch down and then letting the rear settle on the runway as I slow down. So, you know, I'll have to work on that. It is what it is, bruh. It is what it is. And that's all what it is until it isn't. Let's get off the runway before somebody else wants to land. I mean, you have to assume that this kind of runway is a non-monitored, so it's like a CTAF, like a common traffic advisory frequency, where there's no one there monitoring. It's not like you have a tower or anybody watching, and you're just making call outs for other local traffic so they know where you're at, and it's see and avoid. And so I'm kind of assuming there's no one here paying attention other than any other pilots that might be in radio range. But I would certainly be calling out. That's one thing I couldn't stand when I was flying Cessna before I stopped for a while. Is people did not a lot of times get on the radio. You would see them flying, but you would not hear them calling out their location relative to the airport, their intention. Like, it was really fucking annoying. Like, that's the one thing that really aggravated me about people is, like, I'm up there in a plane, you're up here in a plane, I get it, it's see and avoid, and I need to be looking around, you need to be looking around. But part of that whole thing is communication. And so anytime I was doing anything, I was like, I'm this far from the airport, at this direction, I am over this landmark, I'm going to be practicing this and this, and then I would call out, I'm this far from the airport. To all local traffic, I'm on my way inbound, entering a right pattern or a left pattern on the downwind, and then I tell them I'm downwind to base, base to final. I mean, I was constantly wanting to be on the radio and wanting to let people know. And when I saw people flying around and not giving, and most of those were not like students out of the airport where I was flying. But when I saw them doing that, it really, really bugged the crap out of me, because I'm thinking, man, this is our lives up here. If you're, communication, and maybe that's just because I was, being military, and I'm just, I'm big on communication, radio communication, etc., comms. But it really aggravated the living shit out of me when people did not communicate their intention, their location, what they're doing, their altitude, and I'm just like, you know what, man, you're playing with fire, and it's not just you. If you want to go out and fly into a mountain or a tree or not tell anybody because there's nobody else out there, that's one thing, but you're playing with my life too up there. Like, I'm not messing around with that shit. You let me know what the hell you're doing, please. It really aggravated the shit out of me, as you can tell. I was like, holy fuck, man, we don't get it. If we tap planes here, we're not parachuting out. There's no ejection. There's, we're going down with the metal, and it's not the fall that kills you. It's that sudden stop at the end where all your internal organs want to keep going. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, how about you not be a douche and you call shit out? That would be my suggestion. God, I hated that. It just aggravated the crap out of me. How could you not want to communicate in that situation? Come on, baby, let's get in here. I don't think I have enough momentum. I'll have to throttle up a little bit. Okie dokie. Oh, it didn't even let me go through the whole thing. I needed to do the master switch and the magnetos. It didn't even let me do it. So that's all I can do on the flight school for the demo that I'm playing. So I did that. Yeah, because I can't do anything else. So you can get missions. Oh, looks like I got a message. Looks like I got 2 messages. Hold on. What did it say? You're covered, blah, blah, blah. Make yourself useful. You're going to fly up to a place called Morton. Looks like you got your license approved. You're officially... Okay. I've seen some rough landings in my... Oh, eat a bag of caca. Shut up. Talk to me, son. I'll fly this plane right up your rump hole. Your cornhole. All right, now what am I doing? Interact with the PC. See how slow it turns? I really wish I could up that. I think I've got it at the highest. Yeah, that's another thing, too. I want to be able to switch... aileron and elevator to the right stick. I prefer the right stick because I always use my right hand. Most people do for flight sims, except when I was actually flying a Cessna because I needed my left hand on the yoke because my right hand needed to be able to get to the throttle and adjust it as needed. But in the games, I want to be able to use my right stick. That's what I do, but I can't change it. And look sensitivity is up to 100 or 1% or 1, which is 100%. So I can't do any. What does this do? I don't know. We'll leave that where it is so I don't mess up anything that I'm used to. Can I save? Oh, I can. Did it save? Okay, it did. All right. Interact with a PC to claim commercial license. Complete the test. Complete 3 landings. Quality okay or better. Conduct a cross-country flight between 2 airfields of 50 clicks or more or greater. Conduct a flapless landing. Quality okay or yeah. Conduct a glide approach landing. Yeah, that was a little rough. Okay. So now what? Oh, collect. Congratulations. I'm ready for a 747. Okay, now what? Refuel aircraft at the fuel pumps. That's optional. I don't think it's optional. I think that's mandatory. Complete repairs. What's that like? I think Cessnas take about 15 gallons or so. Or I think it's like 15 gallons of fuel, at least the ones I flew, and about 6 quarts of oil when I would check to make sure they're full. Refuel aircraft, complete repairs on the aircraft in the maintenance hangar. That's not optional either. Shouldn't put optional by that. Sleep, and I wouldn't be doing it. Some aircraft tech who's FAA certified and knows all the whole checklist and when things are required to be checked and changed. Sleep on the couch in the pilot hangar until dawn. Okay. So let's see about doing that. Some of that. Is this door going to open in my face? Of course it is. All right. Oh, look. They turned it around for me. Like I said, they need to change the sprint to the left stick instead of the left trigger, and the crouch from the right stick or to the right stick instead of the right trigger. It's not. That makes sense. Okay. So first thing is refuel. There's maintenance. There's fuel pump all the way down there. Holy shit. I can zoom in pretty good, can't I? Must have binoculars. All right, so we'll go get refueled here. Close the door. Actually, I wouldn't even really close the door just to go refuel, but right down there, but whatever. All right, let's... Mixture in. Master on. Magnetos to both for start. Let everything settle. Take a drink of coffee. That's how we do's it. That's how we do it, son. I think after this, though, I'm going to kill the stream after I get the maintenance and the fuel and get me some, well, it's lunchtime. Get me some food. And then next time I play this, I'll stream it again, I think. It's pretty good so far. I think there's only, like I said, I think there's only like 3 missions you can actually do. But would like to stream them all if I can, just to have them all documented and on here. Since I did start the game streaming it, might as well do the rest of the play. Yeah, I need to go. I can't see jack shit, really. And I need to put myself in a position where I can get this thing turned around by the fuel pumps and not have to get out and tow it backwards. So we'll come in kind of steep this way, and hopefully if I turn right sharp, it'll let me still refuel. All right, back inside. I got the brakes set, or I should. Okay, we're going ahead and... Come on. Uh-oh. All right, there we go. I'm assuming I have to get out. It's going to make me go... I mean, I don't know how the mechanics and all of this work, but I'm assuming I can come over here and... Where the hell's the thing on one of these tail draggers? Is it on top of the wing? Like, oh, there we go. Yeah. And do I have to do it on both sides like a Cessna, if I remember correctly? Yep. Definitely don't want lopsided fuel in there. That's going to make straight and level flight for a bit a little rough, and it's kind of dangerous. Okay. Boom. We are refueled. Let's take it down to maintenance. Mixture in, master on. I used to remember the exact process of how it should go, but I forget all the exact process now. I had it in my head when I was flying Cessnas. And plus, this might be different for this plane. I don't know. All right, so we're going to hard right rudder here, or right. We're going to get this thing turning. We're going to go to external so I can actually see where the hell I'm going. Down there is maintenance. We're going to full throttle it and take off. Instead of best rate of climb, we're going to do best angle of climb to clear that 50-foot obstacle down at the end of the runway. And we're going to piss everybody off, and the FAA is going to yank my licenses, all of them. That's what's going to that's what would happen if I didn't hit the building. But I think I had enough room there if I did a best angle of climb and maybe a 10 degrees of flaps and skirted the stall warning. That thing bouncing around in my ear while I'm trying to clear this building down here on a short... I do a short field takeoff there. Brakes, full throttle, line up, and then let the brakes off and let her rip. I'm assuming it says 133 though. I'm not so sure that building right in front of me is it. I guess it could be. No, I don't think that's it. I think it's further down. Make sure there's nobody else on my it's my taxiway when I'm on it, son. Better not be better not be on it. Here we go. Oh, this Oof. Okie dokie. We're in here. All right, now what repairs? what do I need to repair? Propeller. Everything's looking pretty damn good, actually. I'm gonna do a check of the strut. Okay, yeah, I put a little rough on the struts. Brakes are looking good. Wheels are a little rough, but that's normal wear and tear. You heard me. Yeah, left brakes and struts and wheel and right wheel. Check everything else. Yeah, they need to change it where my whole body doesn't move when I'm checking movement, action, and then looking underneath at the bolts, making sure everything's connected. My whole body has to move for this shit. Everything else is looking pretty damn good, actually. So let's open this up. Battery's still good. So those two cylinders. Spark plug. I'm definitely not a mechanic. Certainly not an FAA certified. Drive belt's golden. Alternator's good. Let's see if I can open up this cowling over here. Check the other two cylinders. Cylinder 2 and 4 are good. Starter motor's good. Spark plug. Spark plug. Yeah, okay. So mainly it looks like all this left, the struts, the brakes, the tire, and that tire over there. I want to see what it... Huh. I just wanted to see what it's showing. Yeah, definitely wheels. Calipers are good. Discs. We'll just do the whole engine is... Instruments, obviously, they were nominal. They were good. Propeller should be good. Let's look at this airframe again. And let's go to the undercarriage. Yeah, that's where I put some stress on it, putting it down a little hard. I don't know. It seemed a little rough to me. So, yeah, it makes sense. So, yeah, we got the struts and the wheels. All right, let's repair everything. Okay, we're repairing. Boom. This is my first little playthrough of DeadStick Bush Pilot. We're going to confirm everything's repaired, though. And it looks like it is. Yeah, looks like we're good. Not too bad for flying with a Xbox controller in a game that's not even released yet, and a tail dragger that I've never flown and know absolutely hardly anything about. I think I'm all right. So yeah, I will definitely stream the next one of these because this is pretty good. I hope they stay on the right path for deving this, and if they do, this might turn out to be a pretty damn good game. I mean, it's doable with a controller. I could pull out the X52 or something, but it's doable with a controller, which means I can lean back and be a lazy pilot. In any case, don't forget to check your fuel, your oils, do your run-up, call things out, don't be a douche, communicate with people when you fly, things like that. I'm out.